Today, we are talking to Elad Inbar, founder and CEO of RobotLab, and the new ambassador for the biggest fleet in the Americas. Elad, can you briefly introduce yourself?
Hey, thank you, Alexander, for having me. Yes, my name is Elad. I'm the CEO of RobotLab. We are probably the largest and most experienced robotics company out there, doing it for 18 years. I started the company back in 2007, and we are servicing almost every market you can think of, from restaurants to hotels, assisted living facilities, warehouses, supermarkets, schools, colleges, hospitals, you name it, we touched it. We have multiple locations nationwide. We are the only robot franchise out there, which means that we open locations nationwide and beyond, nationwide in the US, if you're in Germany or other countries. Our franchisees are basically getting the full training on all our products. They get all our playbooks for everything that we are doing, and they are opening RobotLab locations in their metro areas. This is very important because, as many of the listeners know, the last mile of robotics and AI is the biggest pain point. And most of the customers just scared to jump in because what happens if it breaks? How am I going to take care of that? Am I going to ship it back to your headquarters or wait for technicians to come to you? So we solve that by basically putting RobotLab teams in each metro area, and they're able to sell, service, do everything that we do for our customers just on the local basis. Just a 10,000 feet view of who is RobotLab.
A very unique and amazing concept. That's why I love talking to you. So why, Elad, did you personally, you're a busy man. You're like the founder and the CEO, and there's so much in your franchise system, so many different kinds of services and markets you're growing into in the Americas, also beyond the nation. So why did you decide to become the ambassador for the biggest fleet campaign for the Americas? Why?
Yeah. So, we need all hands on deck. We have an amazing opportunity in front of us. From one side, after many, many years in this industry, we finally have robots that can actually deliver clear return on investment. And from the other side, we have a clear need from business owners with labor shortages, with people that don't want to do the work. No one wants to push a vacuum cleaner for 8 hours a day. No one wants to, run dirty dishes back to the dishwashing station in a restaurant or move boxes in warehouses, right? So we have these two, forces that are happening in parallel, and we need all hands on deck in order to actually solve that. This is not something that Elad can solve himself, right?
Yeah, thanks for your hands on deck.
Yes, exactly. So part of your initiative, with the biggest fleet is basically bringing the awareness, bringing the the attention, right, to what's going on in this market. And I believe that you're doing the right thing, and I would love to contribute.
Amazing. Thank you very much. So to allow our watchers and readers to learn a bit more about you, what was your first touch point with service robotics? Must have been 18 years ago or something?
Actually, no. When we started with educational robots. Just a little bit of a background, story. How did we get to where we are today? So I loved robots since I was a child. I was building them, programming them, doing everything. But for many years, robots were toys for geeks, right? You had to work on electronics and solder everything yourself and all of that, which is, fun for me, but not for 99.9% of the population. So, for many years, it just stayed as a hobby. It's, fun stuff to work on, and that's about it. Around 2004 or 5, I was living in Taiwan. My previous company over there, Taiwan is the headquarters of every manufacturer. Every electronics manufacturer is out of Taiwan. And what we see over there is just there are call it gray markets, not black markets, but gray markets, under the bridge on the weekends. You have guys selling, boards and motors and, sensors and everything, just literally what you imagine, with a jacket. Hey, do you want this? Do you want that kind of thing? I was there just, buying stuff and all of this, just to, work on the weekends on my free time. And somewhere around 2005-6, I started noticing a pattern shift. From just components, I started seeing products that are ready. Little drones, little remote controlled cars, not remote controlled with a controller, but what enabled that was the first smartphones. So Apple launched their iPhone in 2007. And just before that, if you remember, there were, Nokia with their Symbian operating system, and Ericsson had their own, and Motorola and Samsung, each basically a mobile, a cell phone, company basically launched an early smartphone. So they were, not what we have today, obviously, but they're already powerful enough to control other devices. So that's kind of like created a shift in what I saw like on the streets. This basically, kind of like was a wake up, call for me that the market is changing. And, from just components, we actually start seeing products. We have enough computing power. The price point become, reasonable, and the market is shifting. So I basically sold my shares over there, started the Robot Lab. That's back in 2007, this is where the whole thing started. So when we started, the big cleaning robots or delivery robots or cooking robots and security that we have today didn't even exist. We had these small little toys, right, remote controlled toys, the niche that I saw is basically in education. I come from a family of educators. My dad was a teacher all his career. My sister and two brothers are teachers. So this was kind of like in the family, right? How do we engage students? How do we help them and everything? And it's like, I actually have a solution. We can bring a drone to the classroom, to math classroom, and engage kids, right? Everyone is like, whoa, what's that? Right? It's not Mrs. Jones writing equations on the board anymore. If you think about it, quadratic equations, can be demonstrated with these type of tools. A drone, for example, that takes off. It has a camera at the bottom. The higher it goes, the larger the area that it sees. Now, area is edge times edge, or edge squared, and the height, is your y, right? So the higher it goes, the x squared actually changes. So, we can bring it to life equations and actually engage the students. So that's where we started. We didn't have all of these robots. So for, 8-10 years, we were focused on education, won a lot of awards, a lot of programs. We are in 2/3 of the school districts in the country, in the US, created curriculum and lesson plans and activities for teachers to actually engage students. And over the years, as more and more capable robots came to be, manufacturers came to us and, hey, would you like to look at that? And we started looking at that. The early robots were not reliable enough or justifying our time and attention, but somewhere around 2020, we started seeing a real shift into, serious money goes in, real serious companies that put all the R&D resources and everything. And this is when it actually, took off, all the service robots. So cleaning, delivery, cooking, security, customer service. That's kind of like the turning point into that market.
So you talked about the early days where you did your market research under bridges in Taiwan. Now that you have like this big field of different kinds of very serious service robots, how does your company do the market screening nowadays? How do you make sure that you don't miss out on a good product and skip the ones you think they don't have the potential for your markets? How do you do this?
Yeah, so we have a team that actually tests all the robots, we don't just onboard on our catalog every product just because it exists. That better than many others. It's very easy to put 2 motors, a controller board, and some sensors, and call it a robot, and start selling, right? But that's not a robot. It's not going to be able to handle real life environments and so on. So we have a team here that tests everything. Just to give you an example. I'm sure you know Segway, the scooter company. So Segway, was sold to a different entity, and they started basically looking into the food delivery robots. So they created a robot for restaurants that move food and everything. And they reach out to us. Hey, would you like to onboard it on your catalog? I said, sure. I mean, Segway is a reputable company. I will definitely look at that. We brought it over, and the robot totally failed. It failed because of two main things. One, it has no suspension. So, if you have any gaps, on the floor between tiles or whatever, or transition from carpet to hard floor and this kind of thing, and you send, liquid, soup, drinks, or whatever, the whole thing just sloshes out. And obviously, that's not the experience that we want in a restaurant. And the second thing, it doesn't have a down-facing camera. It has a laser sensor, but anything below that sensor, whatever it is, 15, 20 centimeters, right below that, it's totally blind to. And the robot just bumps into things. It doesn't even have a what you call it,
mechanical,
the bumper, sensor and so on. So we gave them this feedback. They're actually working on a version 2 now. Once we get that, we'll test it again and decide if we want to onboard. The last thing that we want is to get a phone call, to do all the effort, right, to put a robot out there, and to get a phone call from the customer telling us, hey, the thing that you put here is not actually doing what it's supposed to. Come and take it back. Okay, that's the worst thing, and will basically deter us from getting to the biggest fleet, right? Because customers are very still wary about that. I mean, they're not really sure they want to step in. They're intrigued by the concept, but the burden of proof is on us, right, on the providers. So we have to provide products that actually work, that actually do the work and don't fail and don't mislead customers in a way. So that's how we test everything. It's not easy, and I can tell you, I'm getting 2-3 requests every single week from new companies, and most of them are what we call projects, not products. So again, a couple of guys out of a college or whatnot decide to put something together, and they go to market, and it's far from ready for market. One of the things that just literally in the past couple of weeks, there was a big wave on social media. I'm sure everyone saw that, with a cleaning robot for public bathrooms. A robot that can go into public bathrooms, can go into the stalls, right? Close the door, clean the toilet, clean the whole thing, steam the whole thing. Really intriguing. They reach out to us. In parallel, we got a lot of requests from our customers, hotels, assisted living facilities. Hey, give me that. I need that. And I agree. It's a great idea. We talked to the guys. They are in San Francisco. And what they told us is that it took them, roughly 3 weeks to compile this video. Okay, all remote controlled, sliced, to like the robot will move, 10 centimeters and turn, and then they need to program something or remote control something, and they just stitch the video to look like it's a complete flow. And once this was completed, they put it online in order to raise funds. So these are things that we are protecting our customers from, right? Because the last thing that the customer hotel wants is to put this type of robot out there.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's talk a bit more about your market. First of all, like from an Asian or European perspective, like any complications with tariffs and like these uncertainties, any like additional difficulties you're facing because of that? I mean, most of the robots are coming from Taiwan, China, somewhere else. So
so to begin with, no one likes to pay more, definitely not to the government, right? So, yes, that's an issue. But in reality, the way that we approach it is in a different way. Take, for example, delivery robots. The entry-level delivery robot costs around $15 per day, right? If they put them on a 36-month contract and, you split it back, it's around $15, 15, per day. This robot can run 10, 12 hours on a single charge, go deliver food, run dirty dishes, all of that for basically the full work day for a restaurant. Restaurant owners cannot hire a runner for even $15 an hour, let alone a day, right? So it doesn't matter. Now you add tariffs. Today we are at 35% tariffs on import from China. Okay, so 15 plus 13, 30%, 35%, you're looking at whatever, $18, $19. It's like, okay, yes, it's more expensive, but does it still make sense? Absolutely. The same with cleaning robots. A basic model that can do around 100 or 120,000 square feet per day. all autonomously, discharge the dirty water, refill fresh water, go again, and so on. Cost around 27, give or take, dollars per day. Again, on a 36 months contract. $27, okay, is basically well below what you can hire for to clean 120,000 square feet. Just as a anchor, a typical janitor at a hospital or assisted living or hotel can clean between 55 to 65,000 square feet if they vacuum or clean the floors and everything per day. So the robot does twice, does that for a fraction of the cost, maybe 15-20% of the actual cost, labor cost, and can save on water, can save on consumables and all of that. We have many other aspects of that. We actually recorded a masterclass in how to calculate ROI for this type of robots. So looking at all of this, yes, no one likes to pay more, but it still makes sense.
Okay, the ranking in 2025, it's like we doubled the participants. Like we will see like double amount of fleets we've seen in 2024, and it actually shows that particularly in the US we have like a strong retail focus. So retailers are there. There's like education. Which sectors or subsectors do you think, like particularly for cleaning robots, have like the biggest potential in the US beyond maybe retail?
I look at that from the capabilities point of view, not from the market point of view. So if I look at our entire portfolio, we have 6 different categories. We have cleaning, delivery, cooking, security, customer service, and firefighting. These are the categories that we are looking at. Cleaning are roughly half of our sales right now, across all of them. Delivery between 35 to 40%. And the rest are, what we call emerging categories. The entire fleet or the entire pie, right, is growing, and the slices between that changing. So, for example, as let's say cooking robots take off, it doesn't go instead or on the cost of cleaning. Right, cleaning is growing as well because the entire pie grows. It just becomes a slice by itself. Right now, it's very small because it just started like a year ago. These robots finally became justifiable, right, for a restaurant. They can actually do or bring enough value to the restaurant owners. So, I would say around half of the market right now is cleaning robots. Around 40% is delivery robots.
Okay. And now that you're like, you have a strong focus on North America or the US, but I do know you have like first franchises going to South America, if I'm not mistaken. Like we have like, and you obviously lived in Asia, and you probably also have like some insights into European markets. How would you describe the differences between your main market and other markets? Do you feel like you're lagging behind? You're faster? What is it?
So we have a location in Bogota, Colombia. That's actually our location. It's not a franchise location. It's our employees. And from there, we basically service and do everything for Latin America, from Mexico all the way to Brazil, Peru, and everything. We've sold robots to Mauritius Islands, to hospitals over there, and so on. So we are definitely global on that aspect. I would say there is difference between the different markets. In the call it developed world, Western Europe, the US, Australia, even Japan. There are 2 forces that basically shape the future of robotics. One is the cost of labor, and the other is availability of labor. In many markets today, even if you offer 2 or even 3 times the minimum wage, you can't find labor to do these entry-level jobs, right? I can tell you, specifically in assisted living facilities, you need to have a huge heart, okay, to work in these environments, right? It's hard to see people in their sunset years, right? And everything falling apart, and as a janitor you need to clean that things that falling apart, right? It's really, really hard. Many assisted living facilities have one cleaning lady, and she's responsible for the rooms, for the corridors, for the dining room, for everything, and she can't do everything. It's impossible. And it doesn't matter how much they pay, they offer. Okay, people don't want to do this job. So that's in the Western world. So we have a very strong demand for automation just because it's too expensive to get people, and even if you pay very, very high salaries, you just can't afford that. You can't find people, sorry. And then when we look at Latin America, for example, or other countries, there are very different forces in play. Labor is not an issue. There is plenty of labor. Cost of labor is a fraction from the developed countries, so that's not an issue as well. But the robot price is still the same, right? So even if your labor is tenth in of what it is in the US, the robot is not going to be cheaper just because it's Bogota or because it's Mauritius Island, right? And there, what we see is two different things. One is the novelty thing. I need to bring the newest thing to impress my customers, and these kind of things that will bring more revenues to the business owners and so on. So we see that playing really strong. And the other thing is government that step in and just make a decision. I want to buy robots. Totally unlogical or whatnot from their point of view, but that's the role of governments. To be illogical is possible. So that's what we see. So when we have sales in these countries, it's either for the novelty side of that, or for some grants that came from some government entity, and that's about it. There are some exceptions. Some like capital cities of other countries are getting closer to the issues that we see in the Western world, right? The prices and labor availability and so on. But if you go out of this 20 kilometers around the capital, okay, there is nothing, right? And over there, that's a whole different thing. We have a large project in Brazil with Now and Pepper Robot and so on, tens of robots. It's all government sponsored. In schools and everything. The schools, the businesses, and everything can never afford that. So these different forces in different parts of the world.
Interesting. Thanks for sharing. Two questions regarding the future. And number one, anything about humanoid robots at Robot Lab and in the US? Like, is this really a thing? Are you already exploring them? Where do you see them?
Yeah, I just tweeted and shared on my LinkedIn literally yesterday about that. Humanoid robots are the holy grail of robotics. Okay, we all understand it. We all basically want to see humanoid robots in every life, every home, every business, everything. Okay, why? Because we built the world around our bodies. Okay, think about the door handle, right? How much integration we need today for a cleaning robot, a vacuum, to open a door. We need the door opener, we need Bluetooth, we need we need so many things. Okay, just to go through the door. Okay, where humanoid robots just hold the handle, open the door, and just walk in. Right? I mean, we built the world around us, right? And around our human form factor. So humanoid robots should be able to integrate with the way that we do things much easily. The reality is, while this is the holy grail, we are not there yet. Humanoid robots are a lot of hype right now. Even Unitree, probably everyone saw them in the past few weeks. They are drumming up their IPO. They want to go public for whatever billions of dollars, and their best use case right now, if you track their social media and everything, their best use case is a boxing ring, and two robots just boxing each other. That's their use case. There is no real use case yet. And even the other companies, they put robots in factories, like BMW, Figure, put robots at BMW, to just move parts and put them in the machine and get them out. And again, I'm sure many people saw these videos. BMW actually put a statement out there that this was a kind of like a small scale trial, couple of robots. They worked for a couple of days just to proof of concept. They don't actually do the work. So there is a big gap between the hype and the reality. Elon Musk brought Mark Benioff, the CEO of Salesforce, to see Optimus. And I don't know if you saw this video. It's just like, hey, where can I get Coke? And the robot is like,
it's basically an Alexa, just like
exactly. So it's going to search and everything, but it's not there yet. We want it to be there. It will get there. Don't get me wrong. Okay, it will get there, but in my world, we are providing robots to businesses. Okay, the first question is, what problem does it solve for me? Okay, and the problem can be novelty. Okay, I want to entertain my guests. That's also fine. That's a problem. Okay, but if you're looking at robots that wash dishes and fold the laundry and move things and so on, we are not there yet. It will get there. The advancements in AI, in neural networks, in computing power, the whole NVIDIA Jetson and all of that definitely helps. But we are not there yet. And just to close on that, we have a bet in the company. We basically, I said, by the end of this decade, which is in 4.5 years, actually less than half, 4.25 years, breaks my brain just to think about it, right? 2030 is so close. We will have a robot plumber, okay, that will be able to, go under your sink, okay, mess with your, pipes and everything, unclog your, drain, pull the dishwasher out, fix the, the water pump and everything. Okay, and this is by the end of this decade. So we have a bet, here about that. I said yes. I'm for it. It will happen.
Oh wow! Okay,
it will happen in 4.5 years. Yes, but the kicker, it's not going to be a robot that you dial 1-800 plumber and a robot comes to your place. It's actually a humanoid robot that you have, and you just download an app, and this robot should be able to do that. Right? That's kind of like where I see the market going. It will happen, and it will happen, in my opinion, in this time frame, because what we don't understand, what we don't have good intuition about, is the exponential pace of the growth. If you look at everything, right? ChatGPT, Gemini, all of these large language models, in 2.5 years, okay, they went from a third grader level of reasoning and understanding to probably best in class in everything, in math, in law, right, in legal, and everything. And all of this happen only in the digital world. It doesn't really connect to the physical world. Okay, what we see now, and Jensen Huang, the CEO of NVIDIA, just stood on stage and said the ChatGPT moment of robotics is now. Okay, because computing power, allowing robots to actually do things that were not possible before. Okay, we're working with this, Pepper and now and all of these, humanoid robots for many years, and these robots cannot understand their environment. They cannot. They're not able to go and grab something. Okay, they don't. It's not sensors or something like that. It's just the context of fabric compared to a phone, right? Compared to something hard, weight, pressure. It's an egg, okay, or a cup, right? All of this is not there. But now we're getting to the point that we can build neural networks that actually build on that and actually can understand it and give the right, understanding. The whole concept of, just 3-4 years ago, we were talking about sensors, right? So you need pressure sensor and ultrasonic sensors, blah blah blah. Today we're talking about fusion sensors. Okay, so it's a group of sensors that fuse all the information from all different types of sensors into one coherent understanding of what this object is, right? So, and then the software can actually make a decision what to do with that. So these are the evolution of the components that builds useful humanoid robots slowly. But again, I mean, it's coming. It's definitely going to be a surprise to many people how fast we are going. We plan to be the player for that, because again, the last mile is still needed. You still need to put them over there, and there'll be robots that fall and break, right? And we need to service them and so on. So that's what our goal is, to basically be the last mile for these robots as well.
So good luck with your bet.
Yeah, thank you.
Bit about
By the way, the
mirror.
bet is on going to Thailand, to Four Seasons in Koh Phi Phi.
Okay,
that's the
okay,
bet.
yeah, that's a good destination.
Yes,
not too bad.
Either I buy for the entire company, or
or they buy for you. Okay,
yes.
I see. Okay, wow. So a bit in the about the closer future. So now I told you biggest fleet 2024 to 2025, we doubled the amount of fleets that are actually listed. We can see some are in the dozens, some are in the hundreds, some are in the few thousands. So tell us, like, for biggest fleet 2026, where will we stand, not in 4.5 years, but like in 1 year's time?
So we signed a couple of very interesting agreements, with the largest hospitality, networks, Hilton, one of them. And we're providing robots to, Hilton's, cleaning robots. I believe we'll see, hundreds, if not thousands, of robots being deployed in Hilton's in the next year. Our entire team is, working with that. Hilton corporate is pushing really hard into that. We are the only provider of robots until the end of this decade for them. So we're working really hard on making sure that these use cases are actually scaling, and we're doing it for roughly a year now, like priming the market, educating the property owners, showing ROI and everything. We have a few tens of robots already in Hilton's, deployed, running, and everything. And now we take it to the next level. Okay, hey, you can see this one, you can see this one, you can see that one, you can see that one. Okay, you're next. Because again, it makes no sense not to do that. It's a no-brainer kind of return on investment. So that's kind of like where we're going with that. And I believe we'll see, in the hundreds or low thousands, next year.
Great. Last question, very last question. Do you have robots at home, or like so many robots at work that you say like, no robots?
No, I have robots at home. My kids were, grew up. I mean, they were born into Robot Lab, so for them it's normal. Yeah, but we have robots at home. I won't say names or whatnot, because then they'll start saying all kinds of things. But we actually have cleaning robots at home, multiple types, from floors to window cleaning and so on. We had our Christmas party and at my place, and we brought delivery robots to just do the cocktail mode and all of that. So yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so Elad, thank you very much for the insights, for your time. Really happy to have you on board with Biggest Fleet and being the ambassador for the Americas. And yeah, let's see what the ranking 2025 brings, and then 2026, and eventually 2030. So thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you for having me and for everything that you're doing for this market.